you have to stop. Sometimes you have to stop, Joan.
Mr. Chairman, ladies and gentlemen, do you ever have little conversations with yourself, with that little inner voice? Especially when there's something that you want to do and you know there's a hitch and you're trying desperately to convince yourself that it's okay. For instance, I had this dream of climbing Machu Picchu in Peru to see the ruins at the top. My little inner voice said, "Wow, what a great idea. Of course you can do it, no sweat." But I know I might have difficulty handling the altitude. Oh, go on, you're such a wuss. You can catch a train almost to the top. You don't have to walk a few hundred metres. All very well, but my heart doesn't work very effectively. Why would I want to risk having a major health problem in a foreign country? What if I were to die? Imagine the chaos and the kerfuffle that would cause. It isn't always easy to stop listening to that inner voice. To say no, stop. Because when we see that road sign that says stop, we do just that. We assess the situation and we only proceed when it is safe for us to do so. So I shut my ears to that little inner voice and I let common sense prevail. Really, what I should do is to go and get professional medical advice so that I know if I can or can't handle that altitude problem. So I went and did just that. And I was told emphatically that 8,000 feet was the maximum limit for me. Oh, my dream of Machu Picchu's just flopped. But the good news is I can actually do the Tongariro crossing. I couldn't resist a little "I told you so" to that inner voice. Our little group set off on our Tongariro expedition. I felt pretty confident. I'd done some training up the local hills. And along the way, there was a sign that said, "A detour to climb to the top of Mount Tongariro." Wouldn't you like to do that? No, I read the sign. It's not for me. And I shut my ears. Well, it became pretty obvious that climbing Mount Tongariro was out, let alone Machu Picchu, as I found, even climbing up the Devil's Staircase, if you've done it, somewhat tricky. In fact, there was this sign that ran across in front of my eyes, and it said, "Slow down." And then it said, "Stop." And that's what I had to do. About every 50 or 60 metres, I had to stop and let my heart catch up with me, so it could pump oxygenated blood around my body, so I could move. Because if I couldn't move my legs, I was going nowhere. nothing more than sore leg muscles. When we come to an obstacle in our path, we may just have to stop, as the road sign says, and assess the situation. It may even mean that we need to reassess our dreams or our goals, and that's okay, because there are things that are beyond our control that limit us, like health, injury, finance, even the dreaded weather at times. I remember this young chap, Grant. He was struck down with a broken neck playing his beloved rugby. As a quadriplegic in a wheelchair, he had to reassess his goals. He joined Toastmasters. He had success in contests which led him on to being an inspirational speaker. He learned to paint holding a paintbrush in his mouth. He even continued with his rugby, albeit in a wheelchair, and coached the Wheel Blacks. He achieved his reassessed goals. After all, if we're smart, aren't goals supposed to be achievable? I know I was pretty chuffed when I achieved my reassessed goal. Was I disappointed about Machu Picchu? Yes, I still am. But I'm alive, I'm here, I can achieve more goals. The alternative just was not worth contemplating. There comes a time when you have to just reassess the situation. There are times when you have to have the courage to stop and say no. And there are times when you have to let your common sense prevail. Because if you do that, then it's you, and only you, who will say, wow, that's a great idea. I can do that.